Hello! This is Anna, the PrettyShepherd, and as you can probably tell from the title, I couldn't really stay away from the witchery stuff, so I'm doing another Calanthe video. Today we are going to tackle the hairstyle that Queen Calanthe wears on the engagement feast of her daughter, Pavetta, which I have already done in a very nice YouTube video format. These two videos, they're kind of like a set, basically. You know, like if you have your little Barbie doll and your Ken doll, you have the Pavetta engagement hairstyle, and then you have the Calanthe Pavetta engagement hairstyle. Good videos. But before we dive deep into the hairstyle, let's get a couple of things out of the way first. 1. I had a severe cold. I still have a runny nose. You can probably hear it on my voice, and you can probably see it below my below my nose. But anyway, runny nose, weird voice, red marks above my lips. They are all because of the cold. Now that it's all out of the way, we can get real deep into the hairstyle. There are a variety of ways that we could go about sectioning the hair to get braids in the locations that we need them. However, once again, this is a hairstyle which originally in the movie is made using a hairpiece, and we're going to try to go around that and try to do our own little thing. Oh, sorry, flower. We're doing a middle parting. I don't really care if it's geometrically in the middle. Part the hair all the way to the back. We're going to part the hair from the highest point of the skull all the way to behind the ear. We are going to make 2 braids in the back and then 1 braid out of all the rest of the hair. So I want to feel the thickness of these strands. I can kind of imagine if we can achieve the right thickness of braid, and hopefully we can. We are going to start with the braids in the back. 1 is finished, 1 more to go. And you can tie it off with an elastic or a bobby pin, as I like to do. This is going to create our crown braid around the head, which is technically not a crown braid, it's just a crown going around like a braid. No, it's just a braid going around like a crown. We are going to braid 1 simple English braid in the back. Those of you following me on Instagram probably know that I broke my mirror last time I filmed here, so I have to go and check in my closet mirror if this is good. Yep, it's pretty good. You're supposed to start pretty low back, so push the braid down towards the nape of your neck. Oh, I almost forgot. When you've reached the length that would comfortably go around your head, you actually have to add a little bit of a ribbon into the braid, because Calanthe has an accent braid in the back, and I can just use the thinner end of the braid to mimic that. I'm just going to double this up. That should be the right length. This one I'm actually going to tie off with an elastic. And now we are going to build the braid crown around the head using some bobby pins. First, I'm just going to lay the braid around my head and check in the mirror if I like the shape. Shape's good. And now we're gonna pin. Pay extra attention to the bobby pins that go into the middle back. Those are the most important ones. So we have the end of the braid with the ribbon going on. We're going to leave that to the side just for now. Calanthe has these U shapes in the back. 2 braids crossing each other, like so. I'm gonna go and check in the mirror, and then I'm just going to pin them with some bobby pins. Shape's good. So I've put 1 bobby pin on each side of the braid, just to hold on to the general length of the little U-shapes. And now I'm going to show you how I'm going to hide the ends of these braids. I'm going to reach under the main braid, the crown, and pull it through. And I'm going to do this on both sides. Reach in with a finger, pull or push through, and there we have the 2 braids. Now I'm going to hide these ends by kind of laying them inside of the main braid, following the same circle, the same curve, and pinning in place. Calanthe's original hairstyle does not have this, but again, her circle is actually a hairpiece that is exactly the right size, and there's no braids or bits hanging over. All we have left to do is get the little squiggly bit onto the main braid in the back. The pattern goes on between the edges of the U shape created by these braids. It goes in this little serpentine pattern. I just have to pin in the middle and then on the lower sides, and then just pin the upper ends of the squiggly bit, also hiding the end of the braid in the process. Looking good! Ta-da! That's the finished. Was I out of focus the whole time? I fixed the focus. Sorry about that. Here's the finished look. Obviously, she still needs her crown, right? She's Queen Lioness of Sintra. So I prepared a crown over here. Just perfect for this look. Ta-da! Sorry, what? What? You mean her crown is golden, not silver? Yeah, yeah, after the whole autofocus thingy. I don't know. We'll try to fix this. So this will have to go. And we need a new crown, huh? Nyuka! Megnézhetem az ékszereidet! After pillaging my mother's vast jewelry collection, don't worry, she has tons, she won't even notice. I simply took them apart with pliers to have a handful of decorative elements for my crown. These are the vintage laces that I contemplated for my crown. I ended up choosing the rose gold for the base. I simply folded the end over and started stitching it to a cheap fabric-covered headband. Then snipped the end, folded it over and finished it off. For the golden lace, I folded it similarly and went on to stitch it over the side of the base, covering about a third of the lace. There's no specific sewing technique I'm using. I just want the lace to sit here, so I'm stitching it wherever. Sorry, it's messy. At the end of the hairband, I'm creating a little ruffle, or rather a series of pleats, to get the lace to curve over the end. I'm just holding the ruffle with my fingers and then stitching it in place. No big deal. I swear I'm not playing with my walking crown here. I was just trying to find the middle. Then I realized I actually had tape for that. So now I'm measuring and marking the middle of the crown. I'm just going to mark some spots wherever I want the rest of the bejeweled elements to go. As I go on with the stitching, I will make another little ruffle where the first element will go. And then go on with the stitching and make a slightly bigger ruffle for the second one. These parts will make for a nice little bed where the jewels can sit. For the middle and also largest ruffle, you can see how I pleat the lace with my thumb and then just stitch it in place. Then I just go on mirroring what I had already done on the other side. At the end of the hairband, I will create the curving pleats, snip off the lace, fold over and stitch down. And now for the adornment. Well, I am no jeweler, but a humble seamstress. Which ultimately means I will simply stitch these elements in place with needle and thread. I will find a spot that I like for them, look for eyes or holes in the design and poke my needle through. And that just about maxes out my measly level 15 jewel crafting World of Warcraft skill in real life. Like, share and subscribe if you're a gamer! Oh, why thank you! Finally, this is the finished look. How about that? If you do enjoy this kind of content, please subscribe to my channel and leave a comment below letting me know what you liked most about this hairstyle. Was it more the tutorial part? Was it more the DIY part? Just let me know. Bye bye!